Good morning. My name is Morgan Quick, and I am the Richmond County Administrator. I wanted to take this opportunity to discuss the upcoming fiscal year 2021 budget with you to give you better insight into the decisions and actions being taken by the Richmond County Board of Supervisors. To begin, as we all know, we are operating in a strange environment these days, and we are hopeful to be removed from this situation sooner than later. County offices have been closed to the public for almost 2 months, but I assure you that the county offices are fully staffed and operational and able to assist you with any business you have before Richmond County. Our public safety departments are well prepared to deal with COVID-19 and have been since the very beginning. We are very proud of the way that all county departments have been able to navigate during these unstable times. All things considered, the county still has the responsibility and duty each year prior to July 1st to adopt a budget that will run until June 30th of the following year. In the scenario that we are in this year, with being forced to limit public meeting participation, the board and I felt it necessary to provide this overview for the benefit of our citizens to help further understand our budget and our process. Getting into our process a little bit, on Thursday, May the 14th at 7:00 p.m. tomorrow night, the Board of Supervisors will hold a public hearing on the upcoming real estate tax rate. On Thursday, May the 21st, the board will hold a public hearing on the proposed FY21 budget. And on Thursday, May 28th at 7:00 p.m., the board will adopt the tax rate, budget, and capital improvement plan. We want to be clear that although meeting attendance is limited throughout these sessions, public involvement is still very important, and there are multiple avenues in which you can comment or ask questions on the proposed budget. First, you can submit your question in writing to P.O. Box 1000, Warsaw, Virginia 22572, to the attention of the county administrator. You can email me directly at rmquick@co.richmond.va.us. You can call our office at 804-333-3415, or you can reach out to your Board of Supervisors members. To find their contact information, you can look at our county website at www.co.richmond.va.us, and under the Government tab, you can click on the Board of Supervisors, and that will give you the contact information for your individual board member. The board members for Richmond County are Mr. Richard Thomas, Vice Chairman, Mr. David Parr, Mr. Bill Herbert, Mr. Bob Pemberton, and our Chairman, Lee Sanders. To begin, let's start with the first public hearing tomorrow night, May the 14th at 7:00 p.m. regarding the public hearing on the 2020 real estate tax rate. As you may be aware, the county performed a general reassessment of all county property throughout 2019 for an effective date of January 1, 2020. Overall, the county saw an increase in real property value of approximately 1.36%. Pursuant to the Code of Virginia, if county revenue is increased greater than 1% from a general reassessment, excluding the value of new construction for the previous year, the county shall equalize the tax rate to generate less than 1% of additional revenue, or hold a public hearing to notify the county taxpayers that the county is proposing a higher tax rate than that of the equalized rate. The real estate tax rate for Richmond County has been 70 cents per $100 of value for the last 4 years, and the Board of Supervisors has advertised a rate of 70 cents per $100 of value for the FY21 budget. Based off of the recent reassessment, the equalized tax rate for the county for FY21 would be 0.6975 for 2020. Therefore, the requirement to hold a public hearing of adopting a higher tax rate than the equalized rate. The additional revenue being accepted by the county based off of adopting a higher tax rate is approximately $22,000. Looking at the slide on your screen, you will see that the 2019 real property value for Richmond County was about $881 million. And you'll see that the new value for 2020 is $193 million, which is the 1.36% increase that I referenced. The real property tax levied last year, $6,169,000. 2020 real property levy will be $6,252,921. You see the 2019 tax rate at 70 cents per $100 in value, and you see the 2020 equalized tax rate of 0.6975 per $100 in value. Or the county has the option, after a public hearing, to levy a higher tax rate than that of an equalized tax rate, which is what the Board of Supervisors is proposing to do for FY21, advertising a tax rate of 70 cents per $100 versus the equalized rate of 0.6975. Now, I fully understand that the complexities of general reassessment and tax rates is very difficult to understand, but please know that I am available to answer any questions anyone may have on that topic. Again, tomorrow night, 7 p.m., in the county public meeting room at 101 Court Circle will be the public hearing for the 2020 tax rate based off of our general reassessment. Public is allowed to attend this meeting. We do require that there be 10 people or less, as the governor's executive order has stipulated. However, all of our meetings these days are live streamed on YouTube. If you go to our county Facebook site, Richmond County, Virginia, that link will be attached prior to the meeting, and you'll be able to view that meeting in live time. Or also, you may call in to the Zoom teleconference link that we've set up for citizens to use. So there are multiple ways in which you can watch your Board of Supervisors at tomorrow night to hear the public hearing on the tax rate. Moving on to the FY21 budget, I want to give an overview of the major aspects of the advertised spending plan for the upcoming year. First, I think it's important to understand all of the areas in which your tax dollars go to support county departments and all of the outside agencies and departments that work hard to provide essential services to the citizens of Richmond County. Many of these organizations are ones in which you interact with on a daily basis, while many areas of county involvement may be a surprise to you. On the screen is a comprehensive list of county funding and departments that are included in the FY21 budget for the county. I'm not going to individually go over all of these items in which the county funds, but please take a look at these items at your convenience just to have a greater understanding of where your Richmond County $27 million budget is spent annually. You'll see on the next slide a breakdown of where that $27 million is spent. Starting from the top, other constitutes less than 1% of the budget. Recreation, 1%. Community development, 1.1%. Judicial administration, 2.4%. Public works, 3.7%. General government administration, 4.9%. Debt service, 6.3%. Health and welfare, 9.3%. Public safety, 11%. And by and large, our largest funding stream goes to the Richmond County Public School System at approximately 60% of the overall county budget. You'll see here the FY21 advertised expenditures. You'll see an increase over last year's budget of approximately $766,000. A total advertised budget of $26,796,994, which represents a 2.9% increase over the approved FY20 budget. Tax rates, as we move in, we just talked a little bit about the real estate levy and the process based off of a general reassessment. You will see our tax rates here as advertised, 70 cents for real property, 3.75 cents per 100 for personal property tax, 40 cents per 100 on machinery and tools, $3.50 on merchants capital. No changes are being proposed to the vehicle license fees at $32.50 for cars and $18 for motorcycles. The Personal Property Tax Relief Act, otherwise known as the car tax, is recommended to change from 47% relief to 46% relief. Just wanted to quickly kind of show a display of the stability of the county's tax rates over the past 10 years. You will see over the past 10 years on both of our real property and personal property rates, which are our largest sources of local revenue to fund county departments, you'll see really only two major changes in the past 10 years to our tax rates. Starting with real estate, you will see that there was one change made in FY17, which increased the rate from 67 cents to 70 cents. And you will see that on the personal property rate, there was a change in FY16 that took the rate from $3.50 to $3.75. I think this is an important slide to look at. I don't think you find many counties in Virginia that show this much stability in their tax rate year over year. I think it's a testament to our Board of Supervisors and to our departments and employees to be able to operate within our means and live within our budget, to be able to make sure that we're able to provide the services as best as we can to the citizens of the county. Getting more, getting more into some of the actual details of the budget. The biggest challenges this year for the FY21 budget centered around health insurance and VRS for our county employees, as well as the most recent evolution of the COVID-19 virus and the economic implications surrounding it. VRS stands for Virginia Retirement System. We were notified of an increase to our VRS rate of 2.1%, from 10.42% to 12.52%. This increase alone accounts for approximately $75,000 of additional costs to Richmond County. And additionally, we were notified of a 15% increase to our health insurance premiums, which at current plan offering would be another $75,000 to the county and would impact our employees as well. What does this mean? In regards to VRS, we have no choice. We will increase our contribution to the required 12.52%. We have recommended changes to our health insurance offerings to help minimize large increases on the county as well as the employee. And recommended from the March 13th budget, this is a change. At the March 13th budget, that was the first budget released to the Board of Supervisors, it showed a 2% employee bonus in December of 2020 at a cost of approximately $75,000 to the county. The revised recommendation based off of the current economy is for the 2% bonus to be removed from the budget, placed into a contingency, and reevaluated in January, along with other budget cuts that we have gone through that you will see later in this presentation. To quickly go over some of our notable increases and decreases of expenses for FY21, we have increased our professional services line item in the Board of Supervisors by $17,000 to help offset costs with our attorney, engineers, health insurance, and auditing. We have increased our debt service line by $126,000 to manage the new property that the county purchased in 2019 along the Route 3 bypass and Hamilton Boulevard to be used for economic development purposes, as well as $40,000 interest that we pay annually on a revenue anticipation note. As of February of this year, we have hired a second full-time IT professional, which has been very beneficial to the county and is now included in our budget. And we have increased our part-time monies to both the Richmond County Registrar and the Richmond County Clerk of the Circuit Court for part-time work in those offices. We've increased $36,000 to our part-time pool for our Emergency Services Department, the Richmond County Department of Emergency Services, from $120,000 to $156,000. And this department has been very active in the past 2 months, dealing with the COVID-19 crisis, managing it, planning for it, understanding it, and really being there to help the citizens of the county. So if you see any of the emergency services personnel, volunteer firefighters, or sheriff's deputies, or town of Warsaw police officers, please make sure to thank them for the work that they've been doing over these past 2 months to deal with this crisis that we're in. We've had to decrease about $20,000 to our ambulance fund from $50,000 to $30,000. This is a fund that we use to help to pay for new ambulances that we buy every 4 or 5 years at a cost of approximately $250,000 each. We have decreased the solid waste budget from $625,000 to $620,000. And we've increased $2,000 to our operations at Indian Field from $10,000 to $12,000. This takes into account our tire collection and our brush collection, our annual household hazardous waste day, and some other small items that we offer at the Indian Field Convenience Center. Increase of $12,000 to general properties, rent payments for a new lease for office space beginning on July the 1st. Increase of $9,000 to general properties for property insurance increases. And a recommended increase of about $51,000 to the contingency fund from $10,000 to $60,000. And this is where the money from the 2% bonus planned for December of 2020 has been placed while we reevaluate the economy later this fall to see exactly where things stand. And there has been a recommendation of merit-based salary increases to certain employee groups at approximately $26,000. Increase of $21,500 to the CSA budget from $438,000 to $460,000. CSA is I could discuss CSA for a long time. CSA stands for Child Services Act. And this is a mandated service the county shall require primarily to at-risk children, whether they're in the school system or in their homes, children with learning disabilities, with physical disabilities, adoptions, foster care. Those types of services are funded through our CSA budget. You'll see for the last 4 years, our expenses have run between $400,000 and $500,000 in this category. This is a funding stream that is shared by the local government and the state government. So you'll see that the CSA budget is split approximately 70% state, 30% local. And you'll see a chart here that shows those CSA costs over the past 10 years to see that it was high, that it was low, that it was high, that it was low. So what that goes to show is it's a very tough budget to really get right. If you are over budget in this category, it's a great thing because the reality is this budget could cost us an infinite amount each year, and we just do not know. So it's a very tough budget to budget for. But I think we're getting closer to getting actual numbers here and not spending more than we budget annually. Looking at some of the operational cuts that the county has considered as part of this budget based off of the COVID-19 situation. As I mentioned earlier, the 2% employee bonus was taken out of the budget. We have removed $30,000 from our reassessment fund. We have removed $20,000 from our economic development side of things. We have reduced $20,000 from our ambulance fund, $5,000 from our broadband fund, travel for the administration and for the board down $2,000, and we've cut our solid waste budget by $5,000 to show total operational cuts at $157,000. What has been suggested to the Board of Supervisors is to convene a January 2021 mid-year budget work session to better understand our economy in the fall and the winter of 2020, understand the impacts that the COVID-19 has had on it, and to see if any of these expenses can be included back into the budget, or if we will need to consider further reductions for the second half of our fiscal year. Outside agencies and departments. These next two slides will show you all of the outside agencies and departments that the county funds on an annual basis. Again, I'm not going to go over each of these individually. You will see their approved amount from FY20. You will see their requested amount for FY21. And you will see their recommended amount for FY21, as well as the difference on the right side in the far right column. Our three largest areas of outside funding are the Richmond County Volunteer Fire Department at approximately $135,000, the Richmond County Public Library at $103,000, and the Three Rivers Health Department at $128,500. And I can't say enough about the Three Rivers Health Department, the services that they have provided to the county, not only to Richmond County, but the counties of the Northern Neck and the Middle Peninsula over the past 2 months in relation to the COVID-19 situation. They have been wonderful to deal with. They have handled it well, and they have been on top of the situation from day one. So it's a very important organization that operates within Richmond County and the Northern Neck and the Middle Peninsula that we're fortunate to have during these times. You'll see at the bottom $614,609 of total outside agency and department spending for this year, only up about $8,789 from the previous year. Talking a little bit about the Richmond County Public School System, we had identified earlier in this presentation that they do equal about 60% of the total budget of Richmond County. Their budget for FY21 will see an increase of approximately $315,920. Only additional $12,000 from the state. They will see about $263,000 of additional federal funding, primarily coming from the CARES Act as part of a package that the President and Congress adopted several weeks ago for COVID-19. And you'll see an additional $54,000 coming from Richmond County from the local government for a total increase of $315,920. It is important to note that this is the first local increase that the county has made to the public schools budget since FY14. And we understand that our county school system is one of the best in the state. We appreciate that, we recognize that, and we're thankful for that. And they do a great job providing education to the students and the citizens of Richmond County. To balance out that $315,920 in revenue, you'll see notable expenditure changes. Again, as we talked about earlier, we talked about health insurance and we talked about the Virginia retirement system. Both of these items have also affected the school division at $106,000 for health insurance, $71,000 for VRS. The other increased expenditures include an approximate $40,000 to the regional programs, a new IT/RT position for the schools, recruitment software, insurance, search and audit fees, an additional $39,000, and payments to the Richmond County, to Richmond County for rent of their school board office and deputies for school events. Totals $315,920. Total budget for the school division this year is a little bit over $15 million, $15,084,579. You'll see the breakdown of funding above. You'll see that the state contributes about $9.1 million to our education. Federal funds right around $1 million. Other funds and fees, $137,000. And money from Richmond County at about $4.8 million. Expenditure summary. Instruction accounts for about 66% of this budget at $10 million. Administration and health insurance, a little bit over $1 million. Transportation, a little bit over $1 million. Maintenance and facilities, $1.4 million. Technology, $735,000. Other programs, $57,000. Federal programs, $744,000 for a total budget of $15,084,579. Moving a little bit into the fiscal year 2021 capital improvement plan for the county. You will see a list here that totals about $1,416,500 for the capital improvement plan. Many of these items are smaller items. You'll see in another slide that we were forced to cut some of our larger items out of our capital improvement plan this year based off of our revenue numbers, our projected revenue numbers. You'll see the two largest items on this, they have stars beside them. This is the Commerce Park road and utility improvements, as well as pedestrian trails phase 1. Pedestrian trails was an item that has been discussed over about the past year or so with the county and the Board of Supervisors, trying to obtain funding from state and federal sources to be able to build walking and biking and running trails along the bypass, connecting the YMCA, the Little League, the fairgrounds, the high school, and the Newtown parks is a long-term plan that we have, as well as improvements to the Commerce Park, roads and utility and other infrastructure to make that a better site for economic development. That's $1 million that you will see on this list here, and understand that this is all contingent on receiving outside funds. This is not local dollars at this point at $500,000. At some point in time, if we are awarded funds for these projects, portions of them will be locally funded. There will be match requirements depending on what it is that we source. But at this point in time, these are two placeholders in the budget that are contingent of other revenue. Items that were cut as a result of COVID-19, rescue boat for Emergency Services Department to be able to respond to incidents on the Rappahannock River and the creeks of Richmond County, painting of the Circuit Court office, roof replacement of the Extension office and at the Haven, maintenance work at the museum, and a second payment for a tractor the county has been positioning to buy for the last couple of years to be able to be utilized at Indian Field as a convenience center, as well as throughout the year for things such as snow removal and other items. $87,000 was forced to be cut from this year's budget from the capital improvement plan. Talking about revenue now, you'll see county revenue, total revenue for the year of $26,796,994. Again, this represents a 2.9% increase over the approved budget for FY20. Local sources, almost $11 million. State sources, $12.5 million. Federal sources, $1.8 million. And non-revenue transfers, $1.5 million. Revenue projections for local sources, looking at a $140,000 increase in real estate collections, showing a small decrease in public service corporations, and showing an increase of $190,000 to our personal property taxes. In red, you will see revenue reductions, and these are highly important because they are very much related to COVID-19 and where the economy is. We are certainly projecting revenues to be down in the area of sales tax, building permits, interest on investments, land development fees, and penalties and interest on outstanding taxes. So as we have, it was difficult because at the beginning of the year when we first started talking about our FY21 budget, we really had a good plan in place. We were in a really good position. We were able to do some really good things while keeping the tax rate steady, really to do some good things that were going to provide a pretty good benefit to the citizens of the county. We have had to go back and make some major reductions in that spending plan based off of our projections for revenue this fall. Hopefully our businesses, our restaurants will be able to get open very soon. Hopefully by the 1st of June, we'll start seeing some in-person dining again and some other retail establishments start to open up again. But those impact local government revenues. They more impact the owners and the employees of those businesses, but indirectly they do impact local government revenue. And it's something that we must consider and really be aware of so that we do not spend more than we bring in for the year. We have to adopt a balanced budget, and we're very careful annually to try to make sure that we adopt good, conservative budgets that do not spend more than we receive. A small bit on the state sources, compensation board, no changes from the state this year based off of the economy. We will see a little bit more funding to our registrar's office, which will not affect the part-time employees. That will still be 100% locally funded, but we will see an increase there. So to summarize the FY21 budget, this budget process has been a challenge due to the many aspects surrounding it, primarily due to health insurance, VRS, and COVID-19. The fact that raises and bonuses are not included in this budget to help our employees further offset increased costs to insurance bothers me. However, our local and state economy at this point does not make it appropriate to offer across-the-board pay increases to county employees. There are many local individuals and businesses struggling to continue operations as best as possible during this economy. And although the county is not 100% prepared to face an economy such as this with our reserves, much of the good budget work we have been able to do over the past 5 years is paying off this year due to the fact that our revenue was budgeted at adequate levels. While this upcoming fiscal year will certainly be a challenge to the county, I do not believe it moves us backwards. I hope that as we analyze this budget a year from now, we will note that at minimum we have held our ground. And as the Secretary of Finance for the state said recently, we can control our expenses. We cannot control our revenue to the same extent. And so we intend to remind our departments and offices throughout FY21 to be as mindful as ever when it comes to spending and to keep operational expenditures to the necessary items needed for departmental functions. Also note that many of the changes we have been forced to make for the FY21 budget only make our FY22 budget that much more difficult. FY22 revenue growth in the areas of real property tax, personal property tax, local sales tax, building permits, other land use permits, interest on deposits, etc., will be extremely limited. And I'm not saying at this point that an increase to the property tax rates or rates will be needed to be increased for FY22. But I do want you to realize that it will be a very real scenario and will have to be looked at when the time comes. Just a reminder about our upcoming budget schedule that I've addressed at the beginning of this video. Tomorrow night, May the 14th at 7 o'clock p.m. will be the public hearing on the tax rate for FY21, calendar year 2020. Next Thursday at 7 o'clock p.m., May the 21st, will be the public hearing on the FY21 budget for the county. And the following Thursday, May the 28th, 7 o'clock p.m., will be the adoption of the budget, capital improvement plan, and tax rates moving forward. You can submit your questions in writing, P.O. Box 1000, Warsaw, Virginia, 22572. You can email questions or comments you may have. You can call 804-333-3415, which is the county administrator's office, to speak about any of your concerns, or you can reach out to your board of supervisors members. I'm available to answer questions at any time regarding the budget. I know that understanding county finance and budgets is not something that most of you do on a daily basis, but it's something that is a responsibility of ours, and it's a responsibility that we have done prior to July 1st in a balanced way. And again, any questions you have, we look forward to seeing them or hearing them. And I appreciate your attention during this video. And have a great day. Stay safe. The county is working hard with the COVID-19, and it's prepared to deal with it. So again, thank you and have a good day.